Fleet Week Association, and Fleet Week together again in San Francisco. There was a late decision back in June from the board of directors of the San Francisco Fleet Week Association. We struggled with whether we're going to have a Fleet Week this year or not. We had to make that call because it takes a long time to organize an event like this, and usually we start in November of the year before for the next Fleet Week. So it's a late start. We had a big discussion, and we decided we're going to do it. We're going to take the risk because we trusted our leaders, Mayor Breed, the Department of Emergency Management, the Department of Public Health, all of the people who gave us the guidance as a community. And it's San Franciscans that were smart enough to follow that guidance. And here we are, the only live in-person Fleet Week in the entire nation here in San Francisco. Thank you, Mayor Breed. Thank you to the leadership. And thank you to San Francisco. Fleet Week's already started. There are ships already at the piers. Yesterday we had a fabulous program with the Boys and Girls Club and the Academy of Art University, a big basketball clinic down in front of the USS Rushmore, which will be open for tours later this week. Of course, we all know about the air show. San Francisco Fleet Week Air Show presented by United. United stuck with us, as did the Blue Angels. They committed early. They said, if you are having a Fleet Week on the ground, we are having a Fleet Week up in the skies. And they're going to be here with their brand new F-18 Super Hornets, amazing planes, joined by United and their 777 and Red Bull and a whole lineup of air show participants. It's going to be a great program. You can go down there for free and watch. You can go and buy the premium tickets with premium seating, fully catered operation down there. Those tickets, by the way, are almost sold out, so if you want them, you have to get them. We have a neighborhood concert series. You just got a sample of it right here. If you look at those guys are great. The full Navy Band Southwest is here in town, as is the 1st Marine Division Band, the field band. And they break up into smaller bands, and they're going to be in just about every neighborhood that you can find in San Francisco. Check out the website, fleetweeksf.org, and see where and when they're playing in your area. The ship tours, of course, are going to be taking place. You've got to go down there, greet the sailors and the Marines, say hello to them, welcome them to our city. They are excited to be here and to explore the neighborhoods of San Francisco. The Canine Heroes program, highly recommended by me. I love that program. The dogs of the military, the police department, fire department, and an array of other organizations bring out their dogs to show their skills. It's a great neighborhood event, 10 a.m. at DuBose Park this Saturday. And at that, I could go on for a long time, but check out fleetweeksf.org or monitor our social media at FleetweekSF. And at that, I'm telling you, we have a fabulous mayor. She is here today. I'm going to introduce Mayor London Breed. Thank you, Mayor London Breed. Thank you. Wonderful.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like our city is finally coming alive again after such a challenging almost 2 years. And when I say 2 years, it's leading up to this global pandemic. And in fact, we missed out last year on seeing the incredible Blue Angels fly over the skyline of San Francisco, but we did have programming for Fleet Week virtually, and we went to Treasure Island to the Coast Guard base to kick it off, but it still wasn't the same because even though Fleet Week happened virtually, what I missed most is being around the people and welcoming the folks from the Navy, from the Coast Guard, from the Marines, and also doing the incredible work that they do with San Francisco on preparedness. Now, we know we talk about excitement around Fleet Week and the Blue Angels, but we also have to keep in mind that this is also an opportunity for us to come together with the Port of San Francisco, with the fire department, with the police department, to talk about preparedness and how we continue to work together so that if and when, not a matter of if, but when there's an earthquake or when there's a disaster in some capacity, we know we can count on the folks from the military to come through and to help us weather the storm. So we take this as an opportunity to work together, and I want to appreciate the work of many of the city department directors that are here with us today, including our fire chief, Janine Nicholson. Thank you so much for your work. And the fire department, we appreciate you. Chief Scott is not here with us, but I want to appreciate the police department and the work that they continue to do to keep us safe. As well as, along with Dr. Grant Colfax in the Department of Public Health, the woman who helped to really lead our global pandemic response, Mary Ellen Carroll, the Department of Emergency Management. Thank you, Mary Ellen. And the director of the port, Elaine Forbes. Thank you to our port partners and president of the Port Commission, Kimberly Brandon, for being here with us. You know, we had a lot of work to do, and it was very challenging work to do. But let me tell you, it was all worth it, because we are celebrating in San Francisco. Yes, we need to deal with preparedness and disasters and pandemics and other things, and we will come together to do that. But Fleet Week is opening a new chapter in San Francisco. I don't know about you, but I still think about when I was in high school at Galileo High School and the planes flying over as they practiced to get ready for the amazing air show. The air show is coming back with the Blue Angels. The parade of ships and ship tours, which are incredible. I don't know about you again, but those ship tours were like the highlight for me. And we have this band that is going to be performing all over San Francisco in various neighborhoods. I miss live music. And yes, I used to play the French horn. I may not be that good anymore, but I'm willing to take a chance and see if I could join you. And I may need a couple of practices before I jump in. But the fact is, they're going to be going to neighborhoods. They're going to be performing for the people of San Francisco, and we are so very grateful. So for the activities and all the things that are happening for Fleet Week, please check out the website and make sure that you participate, you attend, you follow the COVID restrictions so you don't get in trouble. You make sure that you do your part, because we're still in a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. But San Franciscans, we're at 82% of the folks in San Francisco vaccinated. And that's really why we're able to have Fleet Week in the city. But more than just Fleet Week, just tomorrow, right down the streets, guess who's going to be playing their first preseason game? The San Francisco Warriors. The Golden State Warriors. And one of the first parades in so long, the Italian Heritage Parade, will be this Sunday. It is incredible. We have tables all outside. People are eating, hanging out, waving. So make sure on Sunday you stop by the Italian Heritage Parade and celebrate with us. And I also got to send a big shout out to the San Francisco Giants, who are in the playoffs. The San Francisco Giants, and I just want to make sure that the folks in LA know that the Giants are actually #1 in the series. So this Friday, I heard that beat LA. Yes, beat LA. So Friday and Saturday, there'll be games. There'll be all kinds of activities in San Francisco. The city is going to be bumping. And all of you are going to be all around our city enjoying it, enjoying our restaurants, staying at our hotels, visiting our neighborhoods. And just do one thing for me. Make sure you remember. Make sure you remember we were in a global pandemic where we had no choice but to protect one another. We had to stay home. We had to obey many protocols, and we're still doing that in some capacity today. But ultimately, we're still able to come together like we haven't been able to do for the last 16, 17 months. So let's make sure that when we're out there, we're remembering what we didn't have at one point and appreciate where we are and what we have. And let's support it. Let's celebrate it. Let's have a good time. Thank you all so much for being here. Looking forward to celebrating Fleet Week with all of you. And at this time, I want to introduce because we are at Crane Cove Park, which has a rich history in San Francisco with the military in World War I and World War II, and the person who's responsible to keep this place beautiful and nice and clean and available to all of you. And hopefully we can add a skate park here one day, because I like to roller skate. But our port director, Elaine Forbes.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and welcome all of you to Crane Cove Park and to Fleet Week. It's absolutely wonderful that we can be here today to celebrate. I'm here today with my commission president, Kimberly Brandon, and we broke ground on this park and cut our ribbon during the pandemic. It was wonderful to provide open space to this neighborhood, the Dogpatch community, who actually designed this park. So this is a park designed by and for the neighborhood. And the mayor came out, and under her leadership, we were able to open up this space for people to enjoy the nature while they were all of us struggling from the pandemic. And when we had our last Fleet Week in person, I made a joke that it was Dianne Feinstein, our first mayor, who was a woman, who saved Fleet Week, and now Mayor London Breed, our second woman who is a mayor, is so good at preparedness and so good at Fleet Week. And I made the joke that women just know how to prepare better. But how would I know that we would have a global pandemic that none of us were expecting, and that our mayor would act really quickly, more quickly than anyone else acted, and that she would follow the science the whole way and not question it? And how did I know that our mayor would be so successful that we would be the only country in the whole nation able to host an in-person Fleet Week, and that we'd take the risk to do so, and we'd be safe enough to pull it through? Now, my tenants, 500 of them, the commercial folks, the retail, the people moving facilities we have, the ferries, the excursion vessels, our crews. We've suffered so much, and our tenants and our businesses are so eager to get people back to San Francisco. And we're talking so much about the interconnectedness of being prepared and honoring our sea service men and women and our rich history here at Crane Cove Park. This was all for shipbuilding, for the war effort, a heavy industrial community here that participated and made magic with its building of these wonderful vessels that provided our security. How did we know now that our tenants would be so eager to see the visitors that come back in great numbers during Fleet Week? And so many locals are coming down. We've had press articles about the wharf reopening, Pier 39, how our businesses, our local small businesses, are benefiting from this event, and how they will be nurtured by people returning. So I think COVID has laid bare how interconnected we are, how much we really have to think of community and its entire interconnectedness, and how I was really, really right. Women are better prepared. Welcome to Fleet Week. Now I have the honor of introducing a very important person to San Francisco Port, the captain of our port for the Coast Guard, newly in the position, a great leader. Let's welcome Captain Taylor Lamb.
Thank you, Director Forbes, for that very gracious introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure it is to be here with you today as we kick off Fleet Week 2021. On behalf of the Coast Guard District 11 Commander, Admiral Brian Pennoyer, and all of our members across the state of California, we could not be more excited to be here as we highlight our U.S. military, our U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard members, our emergency first responders, our emergency management professionals, and certainly the greater maritime community at large. And on that note, I'd like to quickly convey our sincere thanks to critical partnerships here in the Port of San Francisco as we work daily to ensure the safety and security of not only the public, but our marine transportation system. And on the note of safety, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention and remind our boating public that are planning to get underway this week for Fleet Week to please ensure that you have enough life jackets for all passengers on board and a VHF radio. Channel 16 VHF radio is the best means to contact the Coast Guard for any type of maritime emergencies. With that, we are really excited and looking forward to a very safe and enjoyable week of events and look forward to introducing you to some of our nearly 4,000 active duty Coast Guard members here assigned in the Bay Area, and some of our visiting Coast Guard units, such as the Coast Guard cutter Robert Ward. It is one of our newest fast response cutters, a 154-foot state-of-the-art design ship capable of conducting a myriad of missions: search and rescue, law enforcement, and port security operations, just to name a few. With that, we thank you again, Mayor Breed, for your leadership, and all of our partners here across the region, and really, Semper Paratus. Thank you so much. I'd also be remiss if I did not introduce a very distinguished leader, Admiral Bays, Expeditionary Strike Group 3, U.S. Navy. Admiral?
Thanks, brother. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks to the mayor. Thanks to these distinguished colleagues for even letting me be up here. I don't feel worthy, but I'm super happy to be here. I'm honored to represent the many sailors, Marines, Coast Guard men and women that I hope you get a chance to meet this coming week. I'd start out by saying, wow, here in person, it's pretty freaking awesome. You think back on how you appreciate things like this. I'm so happy Fleet Week was able to execute because of the city's preparations. And for me, it feels a little bit like a homecoming because the last time my wife, Chandra, she's back there, and I had a Fleet Week experience, it was here in 2014 when San Francisco hosted the commissioning of the amphibious assault ship USS America that I was part of the crew on that. It was awesome. It was epic. Probably second only to meeting my wife for the first time. Sorry, that's just where things go. But it was because of the hospitality and the warmth of the city. And I'm super excited to bring a lot of young people to show them what a Fleet Week looks like the first time in their careers here. It's going to be great. So this year, Fleet Week is going to be epic, right? We brought a slew of ships. I got 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the USS John S. McCain, the Shoup. We've got one of our more modern destroyers, the Zumwalt class, the Michael Monsoor. And then over at Pier 3032, we're going to have a pretty big amphibious assault ship, essentially. It's the Rushmore. A lot of this stuff's going to be open to tours. We're going to have aircraft. We're going to have boats. It's not just the Navy. It's Coast Guard. It's support services. It's first responders. We're setting up a humanitarian assistance disaster relief village over in Marina Green. This is all about showing you the type of capabilities we have to work together with the city in times of crisis. Navy and Marine Corps band, right? They're going to be all over the place. Every single day they're at a different venue. That's going to be really cool. Let's see, we got parades. We got parades on the water. We got parades on land. We got an air show. There's some group, I don't know who they are, the Blue Angels. Have y'all heard of them? All right, bring it on, bring it on. I'm a helicopter guy, but I'm not too proud to admit they're kind of cool in the jets. So, there you go. Let's see, but the most important thing is I'm bringing a lot of young, very young, by this august group standards, sailors, Marines, Coast Guard men and women, and we're telling them to get out and about in the community. Y'all can clap for them, please. So they're getting beaten by your youngsters in sports. They're doing community relations stuff. They're working with dogs, which is a really cool initiative. But the main thing I want them to do is to get out and talk to y'all about who they are, what they do, and why they serve. Because I think that's what Fleet Week is all about. It's about civilians celebrating their military, but it's also about you knowing what we're all about. Because guess what? This is your military. And you ought to know who we are and what we do on your behalf. It's really important. So we missed 2020 because of COVID. We overcame that. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So this year is going to be epic, as I said. I think it's going to be the best Fleet Week ever. I look forward to seeing you guys out there. I just kind of finished by saying, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for honoring and celebrating our military men and women this way. It means a lot to me personally. It's a good feeling, I'm not going to lie. But also to our military families to see themselves recognized like this. It's a big deal. So thank you for that. And now I have the honor to introduce, I'll pass the mic to our Executive Director of Emergency Management, Mary Ellen Carroll. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Admiral Bays, for that introduction. Thank you, Mayor Breed, and such an honor to be here with my esteemed colleagues. It's also just such a thrill to be here and not talking about COVID and not telling you what you can't do, but just really to send the message to have fun and, of course, be safe. But on a serious note, my team and I are part of Fleet Week that is so incredibly important to us is the partnership and the planning that we do with our military partners. So we really focus on all different things. This year, we focused on air support and activities. For San Francisco, in a seismic event, the possibility of us becoming an island, for all intent and purposes, for some period of time, is real. And so our marine and our air support with our military is critical. On a day-to-day, the Coast Guard provides us with help on our waters, around our bay. As a surfer and a bay swimmer, I personally appreciate it in case things go awry, but during major events, even more important. And then this year, we had, last month, we did exercises with all of our partners on the USS Tripoli, an incredible ship that was brought in. And then yesterday, a lot of the team from DEM had an incredible day at Moffett Field, and they got the chance to go up in the air and really experience the capabilities and what the military brings to us, which is invaluable. And those relationships that we make, these relationships with these people that we make every year, is going to make our ability to respond so much better. Later this week, we have the Senior Leaders Seminar, and that is where we're really going to exchange our lessons learned. We are so incredibly proud of our COVID response, and so much of that goes to the leadership of this woman right here, our mayor. The fact that we have 82% of our folks vaccinated is entirely the reason that we're all here being able to do Fleet Week, so thank you, Mayor Breed. And thank you to everybody in the city who really contributed to that. So we're going to talk about some of the things that worked for us. We're going to talk about a lot of other things, virtual ops when that needs to happen, first responder mental health, which is a super real issue and problem for us, and a lot more. So I hope everyone takes the opportunity to come out to the Senior Leader Seminar. But the only other thing I have to say is just please have a wonderful time, be safe, and welcome to our service, our servicemen and women. It is our honor and our privilege to welcome you to our city, and we hope you have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you to all of our speakers. Thank you to Elaine Forbes and the Port of San Francisco, which is a whole community of people who help to make the work of Fleet Week easier for the planners. The wharfingers, the people who are out there behind the scenes at the port have just been flawless throughout this whole planning process. And so thank you for that, Elaine. And thank you for this beautiful park. It's beautiful, Crane Cove Park. And I cannot leave the stage without pointing out that our chairman of the board, retired Major General Mike Myatt, U.S. Marine Corps, who's the guy who pulled all of this together back in 2010 to kind of resuscitate Fleet Week. He's right there in the gray. Give him a round of applause. Ask him questions. He's maybe the most interesting guy to talk to in this whole place. Thank you, General Myatt, for all of your support. And I think now we're going to conclude the conference. We're going to have the speakers gather in front of the stage for a photo op, and then we'll be available for a Q&A if there is any of that desired. Thank you very much.